This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Bruce Blakeman, I thought by now was going to be some macher in the Trump administration, but Bruce has remained very consistent, and I love Bruce a lot. He's remained very consistent. He loves his job, and I believe that's true, and he's great at it as the Nassau County executive. And there's big news. WABC, Nassau County, and the New York Post all doing a deal. They're going to have their own bureau, the New York Post, in Nassau County. And now the Post is the official newspaper of Nassau County. All this, according to Chris Boyle, who you can only trust so much, you know. So when you get the actual information now from the Nassau County executive, Bruce Blakeman, and also the New York Post digital editor, Erin Geismar. Bruce, Erin, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you, Sid?
I'm doing great, guys, both of you. Let's start with you, Bruce. According to Boyle, the New York Post is now the official paper of Nassau County. Is that true?
Well, I am proposing it, and I am very confident that the legislature will take my approval. So I spoke with Presiding Officer Howard Coppell. He's very enthusiastically behind it. So, yeah, we're going to make it happen.
Erin, is part of the reason for that because New York Newsday has become so biased? I've mentioned that a couple of times. I mean, to me, New York Newsday is just the suburban edition of the Times. I mean, they are brutal. Is that part of the reason why?
Right. Well, I think you're definitely hitting on the point there. I mean, we think that our coverage, our point of view, it all aligns better with the readership on Long Island. We think that what we do can reflect the community a lot better than what the current media is doing out there.
No, well said. So, Bruce, it's a threesome here. It's not just me, you, and Erin right now, but WABC, the New York Post, and Nassau County, because obviously John Catsimatidis, WABC, all of us here are dear friends with you guys. So it's basically a three-pronged deal, yes?
Yes. So John Catsimatidis, Keith Poole from the Post, and I have been talking for quite some time about that relationship of making those media outlets official media outlets of Nassau County. And we did it for a lot of different reasons. First of all, we believe that the New York Post and WABC, they are increasing their penetration in the metropolitan area, and specifically in Nassau and Suffolk County, where we want our messages to get out. That's number one. Number two, there used to be a division between editorial and reporting at Newsday. We find that's not the case now. We've heard reporters tell us that editorial has told them not to write good stories about Nassau County, not to report certain things that were positive. We saw that in the transgender ban that I instituted. Basically, they call me transphobic, and I had the most probably acclaimed athlete in our generation who became a transgender woman, Caitlyn Jenner, who supported my position and came from California to New York for a press conference, reported by every media outlet in the world, Reuters, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, you name it. And our own newspaper, even though the event happened here in Nassau County, chose not to even cover the event, not to write about it. And at that point, I realized that they weren't interested in covering the news. They were interested in making the news. So we then made a decision that we were going to look for other media outlets. And I think the New York Post, WABC, they're great fits. And I think they're also very fair. They ask tough questions. And listen, when we're wrong, we should be criticized. That's what you want in freedom of the press. But when we do something right, we'd like that to be reported as well.
No question. So Erin, this is not a case where because New York Newsday is so biased one way, that the Nassau County version of the New York Post is going to be so biased the other way. Basically, what Bruce just said, you'll be fair. When things are good, you'll say it. When things aren't so good, you'll say it. But this isn't a revenge move necessarily, is it?
No, it's not a revenge move. And look, I grew up on Long Island, so I am particularly proud that we're moving in this direction. And I think it's what Long Island readers and particularly Nassau County readers deserve. But yeah, like Bruce said, I mean, it's great to hear him reflect on our coverage that way and to call us fair, because, of course, we really pride ourselves on that. But we think we just take a really common sense look at things, and including and especially tough topics. And we've never been afraid to, approach things in a way that's counter to the mainstream if we believe that it's, the clear, a clear and fair reporting line.
So give me, Erin, if you wouldn't mind, you're the digital editor, so there's going to be an online presence, obviously, for the Nassau County edition of the New York Post, and then a pullout in the actual paper? How does all that work?
Yeah, so there's going to be a page in the print paper every day, and then online we will have a section of the website where you can find the coverage, but it'll also just be, interspersed throughout the website. On our homepage, you'll be able to find it. And we are going to be in the new year hiring reporters to cover the area, and it's really exciting. It's just a really exciting opportunity for growth. And I mean, a lot of places are doing the opposite of expanding these days, and so we feel so honored and privileged to be able to keep expanding and into this area. Our journalists are really excited about it, and we'll be looking at local news, of course. We'll be looking at business. We'll be looking at sports, and the idea is, we just really want to reflect the community. We really want to get into whatever the community is talking about. And we hope that at Long Islanders' dinner tables at night, they're talking about what they read in the New York Post today.
Love it. Anthony Diaz says you don't need a job, by the way, so you may as well call. Bruce, let's talk about what the Republicans and Trump are doing with the media. You can see that he is making his mark. I really believe this, Bruce, and no one's closer to Trump than you are. Nobody. But I believe one of the great things he did, if not the greatest, when he won in 2016, was exposing this media as this one-sided propaganda machine to destroy him and the right. And, even naming Carrie Lake, Bruce, for example, last week, the head of his quote-unquote media voice, I love that move. That goes to show you that Trump is taking this type of communication very seriously.
Well, Sid, let me give you an example. We just went through a presidential campaign where the Democrat candidate, Kamala Harris, was anointed, and then she refused to do any press conferences. Not one press conference. She's running for the highest office probably in the world. And, I remember Walter Cronkite, David Brinkley. They would never let her get away with that without a press conference. But the national media and the international media, they were like, oh, yeah, we're okay with that. We're okay that she's not standing up and answering questions about what her positions are. We're okay that we don't know really who she is and what she stands for. We're okay with all of that. That never would have happened 30 years ago.
Agreed.
The media now is the lapdog of the far left.
Yep.
And until they become fair and balanced, and that's all we ask for. Be truthful, be fair, be balanced. They write stories based on Democrat press releases and don't do any work. Look at the whole Russian hoax thing.
Yep.
It's just they need to realize that they're hurting themselves. People are losing trust in the media, and that's a bad thing because I am a big supporter of freedom of the press. I think it's important to have journalists ask questions and for politicians and elected officials to stand up and answer those questions.
I've been dying, Erin, to write an editorial. I've been to Israel twice, and, I'm very pro-Israel. Like Bruce. Bruce is tremendous. Can't say enough about him. But I've been to Israel twice since October 7th of 2023. I'm going back again in April for Israel Independence Day. I'm basically Mike Huckabee's assistant at this point in terms of the ambassador to Israel. And I was dying to write a piece, and I couldn't get anybody. Here I am, the number one talk show host in New York, well known throughout this area and many areas as one of the biggest and best fighters for the Jews. So now, with this Nassau County leg, it's going to be easy, right? I would imagine with a partnership with WABC, maybe you'll use some of the talent here every now and then to write something, no?
You can send your editorial straight to me, Sid. Get my contact information.
There it is. That was easy. Man, this is fantastic. My favorite interview this morning, Erin and Bruce. They're great. Hey, Bruce, tell me about this. I know that New Jersey and New York have talked about this. Are you guys getting a ton of sightings? That's what I heard this morning. In Nassau County with drones?
No, we've had a few sightings. What you get is a lot of people who want to copycat. So they fly drones to be part of the news story. But it hasn't been a real issue. But we monitor it every day. We have some electronics that we use. We have a group of police officers that are dedicated to drone detection. We were one of the first police departments in the nation about 2-3 years ago to do that. We are looking forward to the possibility that the federal government will share some of their technology with us. Right now, the more sophisticated technology is with the military, the Secret Service, and the FBI. We would like local law enforcement to get some of that technology. But Nassau County, and I've been, talking to other security officials throughout the country, Nassau County is at the cutting edge. So we're about as good as it gets when it comes to drone detection. But there are other technologies that the federal government has that we certainly would love to have in the event that, it became problematic like it is in New Jersey.
So, Erin, last one for you. When this Nassau County section or part is in the New York Post, I guess, is it going to be strictly Nassau County? Will you guys delve into stories about Suffolk County, about all of Long Island, or will it just be exclusively Nassau County?
It's going to be all Long Island coverage. I mean, I think, again, as somebody who grew up on Long Island, you know that the whole island is so closely connected. Something that affects people in Suffolk County will affect people in Nassau County, broadly speaking, especially on a community level. But we will be we will be putting our journalists in Nassau County. So in terms of the local government stories and things like that, it'll be Nassau County focused. But in terms of community stories and sports stories, we'll be all over the island.
Fantastic. Hey, Bruce, anything?
Can I just give you one example, Sid? So I was in Boardwalk Bagel a couple of days ago, and I asked the owner, I said, how many news days do you sell to New York Post? And he said, it's 5 New York Posts to every news day I sell.
Wow.
So
yeah,
people are making the choice themselves. This isn't just me or the legislature here in Nassau County. The people have made their voices heard that they prefer the news from the New York Post. So, I think that's important to point out.
Are there more Republicans? I'm always confused. I think, Bruce and Erin, I think of Nassau County as a Republican haven. But when Anthony lost, he said to me, I got news for you. In my district, there are many more Democrats than Republicans. But whenever I'm in and around your area, Bruce, I feel like there's a Trump sign and an American flag on every corner. So what's the real deal in terms of Republicans versus Democrats in your county?
Well, there's over 200,000 more registered Democrats in Nassau County than Republicans. But here's the bad news for the Democratic Party. They need to change their ways. Independent voters are overwhelmingly voting for Republicans, and common sense Democrats are voting Republican. There's a whole group of Democrats who come from the party of Kennedy and Truman and even Lyndon Baines Johnson, who were moderate Democrats, who were, strong on the military, believed in tax cuts. And, I think we're winning them over. So the Democratic Party has to come more towards the middle of the political spectrum if they want to survive, because these far-left policies like cashless bail and our open borders, these are issues that really, really concern the residents of Nassau County. And I believe they feel the same way in Suffolk County and in Queens and Brooklyn and the outer boroughs.
No, they do. I had the chance to sit with Lisa Tuozo last week in my studios, and her husband, Paul, was a cop, murdered in 2016. Same story, Bruce, as John and Stephanie Diller, and also a rap sheet, the same nonsense that is getting innocent people and cops killed every day. So on the way out, Erin, what is the timetable for this thing to start?
Yeah, right when we get into the new year, we're going to get started. We're going to get past the holidays and then hope to start publishing as quick as we can in January. That's exciting. Listen, this is a great partnership. I know I'm excited about it. You guys, Bruce, and how much I love you guys and that county. I mean, I missed you at Vicky's party last Wednesday, but Cairo and King and just all of you guys is just the best run county anywhere in New York. Erin, I'm excited for you, too. It's going to be a great partnership. It is the best newspaper in the world, bar none. It's the oldest and the best newspaper in the world, bar none, the New York Post. Why not be in partnership with WABC and Nassau County? Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Keep the fight.
All right. You too, Bruce. God bless you. That's the great Bruce Blakeman, Nassau County executive and digital editor from the New York Post, Erin.